61 countries have agreed that humans and not artificial intelligence should control nuclear weapons. The U.S., the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Japan, and others endorsed the plan at a summit on AI in the military in South Korea. However, China did not go along with the agreement. And the Japan Times points out experts warn that even countries who support the plan may not actually observe it. Not only is it non-binding, but AI could provide major military advantages, all of which means computers could be making decisions on nuclear weapons in the future. Well, a new U.S. nuclear plan is in place designed to focus on China's rapid nuclear expansion and account for growing global threats. Details remain top secret, but as national security correspondent Caitlin Burke reports, experts say a stronger strategy is needed for the U.S. to deter nuclear-armed adversaries.
As long as nuclear weapons have existed, the United States' priority is preventing any such attack against the homeland, our allies, and partners. Maintaining that role in today's world has led to calls for an updated plan.
If you look at the National Defense Strategy Commission, they said as China develops a full-fledged nuclear triad and Russia threatens to deploy nuclear weapons in Ukraine, not to mention continued advancements in the North Korean nuclear arsenal and the threat of Iranian nuclear proliferation, the U.S. strategic deterrent remains critical.
In recent speeches, senior Biden administration officials have been given clearance to allude to changes.
The president recently issued updated nuclear weapons employment guidance to account for multiple nuclear-armed adversaries.
Last month, Dr. Vipin Narang, an MIT nuclear strategist and former defense official, said his office was advising the Pentagon on how to plan and posture U.S. forces in the current nuclear landscape. While Narang isn't calling to grow the U.S. stockpile yet, he says adjustments to weapons currently deployed may be necessary if adversaries continue down current paths.
The Pentagon estimates that Beijing had 500 operational nuclear warheads as of May 2023. Okay, 500. Well, compared to what? Well, they're going to have over 1,000 of those by 2030. That is what some military leaders have called a breathtaking breakout. What makes it even more reckless, I'd say, and even irresponsible on Beijing's part, is they're doing it with tremendous secrecy, and they're stubbornly refusing to negotiate with us a strategic arms reduction treaty. The Trump administration has tried. The Biden administration has tried. So we have the whole thing going on with Putin where he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then we have Beijing, who's unwilling even to talk with us in good faith about some sort of treaty.
Bradley Bowman, senior director of the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, says whoever becomes president needs to focus on two things when it comes to U.S. nuclear posture.
I would say continue to fully modernize the modernization of all three legs of our nuclear triad. I would look for opportunities to expedite those as much as possible. And simultaneously, I'd be reaching out diplomatically to Russia and China and saying, we are ready to do real negotiations, real, not fake negotiations that elicit commitments on both sides that are transparent.
China has expressed concern over reports of a new U.S. nuclear plan, accusing the Biden administration of seeking a strategic advantage by peddling a, quote, China nuclear threat narrative. The White House says the new plan is not in response to any one country or threat. In a recent visit to Beijing, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan specifically assured President Xi that Vice President Harris, if elected in November, would continue to responsibly manage the relationship with China.
She shares President Biden's view that responsibly managing this competition so it doesn't veer into conflict or confrontation is essential.
An unclassified account of the new nuclear guidance is expected to be given to Congress before President Biden leaves office. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Thanks, Caitlin. Gordon, this is scary. I mean, AI, nuclear weapons, how's this going to work?
It's not going to work, and that has been the whole issue with nuclear weapons. You know, why do you need thousands of warheads? That would be my question to China. It's been the question between Russia and the United States for decades. I remember a study all the way back in 1980 that just the nuclear subforce would be able to blanket the world with destruction, that there literally wouldn't be anything left. And you look at that and you go, why? Why would you plan that? Why would you have any kind of war scenario where that's the outcome? Well, it was all part of what was called mutual assured destruction, that if you launch against us, we're going to have the capability to completely wipe you out, and on top of it, wipe out the whole planet. And so it was a scare tactic, if you will, that no one will ever launch, no one will ever use the weapons. Well, why don't we just recognize that and say, well, let's not build them in the first place? And why in the world would you let AI take over that is beyond belief. How many science fiction movies do we need to see that show that that's a pretty bad idea? Well, why in the world would you do it? Well, I look forward to a day where a Messiah comes and we will study war no more. That would be wonderful. And in the freedom of that, every tongue, every tribe, every nation will be able to flourish and prosper because we're not wasting money on ideas to kill each other. Let's study war no more. We're going to need a Messiah to put that into place. And my prayer, the prayer of the church for centuries, Maranatha, come soon, Lord Jesus.